Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I am your host, Kimberly Cloud. I wanted to go over everything with a fine tooth comb and talk about my accomplishments and what transpired. I don't need to get no more. I've talked about the government enough, but it leads me back to the government. However, if you're willing to take that ride with me, you'll understand why my story is more unique, you know, um, on a unique scale. So it was an incident that happened on March 19th. Well, I won't get into what happened, but it was an incident that temporarily put my show on hold for nearly 40 days. 40 days. Think about your show going on regularly and it being put on hold for 40 days. That's Moses time. I think, you got to think about how many days Moses traveled. I think he traveled for 40 days, 40 nights or something like that. But that's a long time. That's like a typical person that do like a stay at on a cruise or something. It's usually on there 2 weeks top. If you really got money, you probably be on your own yacht somewhere. So usually 2 weeks top, depending on the type of craft. But it was temporarily put on hold. And I say this to say 40 days is a long time. So basically, moving on, it took me a moment to regroup, a long time, another month to regroup. But I've actually connected with so many people more in person than online that it actually made me feel good that I took that stay. It wasn't like a vacation. If it was a vacation, I would be posted up at a hotel somewhere. This was like a mental regroup of what a good plan without writing. Mind you, I'm not writing fully like to my capabilities that I usually do. Writing about plans that I have to do for the future. And so many powerful, straightforward people intrigue my interest, from the VA, from grocery stores, from gasoline stations, everywhere I go, even in my neighborhood. Like, I'm meeting some pretty cool people. And I don't want to ruin that. It's a lucky streak that I don't even want to take for granted. I just be myself and I get positive results. And I hope to meet the next wave of people virtually so that I can grow my critique, which I've grown enough to know what to identify when interviewing someone. And you never know everything, right? You can get so many masters, so many doctors, but you never really know. It's about taking what you learn and put it into practice. So with me, I am extremely proud to have conducted over 2,000 interviews. I probably most likely got up to or 100,000 plus hours, including myself, towards using this streaming platform as a platform where I can grow myself with pride and dignity. When I get on this platform, I feel whole. It's a feeling you get, and it's I don't know what it is. But once you're live, it's one thing to be recorded. It's one thing to be specifically live. If you're scared about it, try it and grow from it. And I'm telling you, it's like a delightful feeling. But it's even better when you have that championship belt based on what you've been through on your belt and people you've basically interviewed out on the street. That fulfills me. And so interviewing one person at a time virtually is something I want to do. I've interviewed groups of people. Like I don't even know where the footage is, but I've interviewed 5 people at one time about Ukraine. I don't know where that footage went. Hopefully it'll rotate back in my video feed. But over the years, things got blocked, deleted, and converted to other sites. I have a roundtable talk show from California I did with this girl named Cherie or something. Sherry. I paid $500 for that show. And I got some intriguing people on the show that mentioned different wonderful names. And I got educated. I've had to put out money to produce, to get what I want, but I wasn't looking in the right places. So I found the Better Business Bureau. I stuck with that, and I think I made a very highly smart SAT, ACT, GMAT, etc. I think I made a smart lesson and smart decision on that process. Um, and Marquise Who's Who, I've been with them for years, and I can always call them and be like, hey, you got my old article? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. I have a book, which will be in the Library of Congress. This was before I decided to put my name as candidacy for presidency, which I am current on, but it's definitely worth it. They have a program or some type of plan where you can get like 15, 20 minutes and you get like a lot of likes, a lot of likes, a lot of visitors on YouTube. And that's a great deal. I think y'all should think about that, being in the Library of Congress. And so I couldn't take it no more. My head, Elon Musk and Donald Trump was exploding. I said, I have to figure out how to put myself in the Library of Congress, included with, in conjunction with Marquise Who's Who. So I began to search around. I'm just searching. And then it says, put your material on copyright.gov. And it wasn't just that. It wasn't just me. I kept writing Grok over and over and over. What can I do differently? How can I up my game? People are doing it now. It's just reels, but that's a lifetime, infinite amount of work, a special snippet of you, infinitely on the Library of Congress copyright.gov. That is something I up my game every time. Sometimes it's like a Mozart thing. It's a hit or miss. He can make music. I can make podcasts. It's in my blood, and I love every part of it. And these people I've interviewed, I didn't know everything I know now. I taught myself. You know what? Scratch that. I didn't teach myself. I was suggested, and I made sound and better decisions as I went along. Curiosity, creativity. I mean, like I said before, the feeling you get when you're on these platforms is amazing. So my accomplishments speak for themselves. I hold 2 patents. One is a patent from a long time ago. It's called the K Cloud, and they always steal my idea. And they use it just, and they either had it before me or was in the making of it or stole it from me. I put it to you like that. I had the K Cloud smoke detector that uses AI to detect any foreign substances, even like factory smoke type stuff that may irritate you, and see how you can make a better way of living to keep it out your house or something. It was AI generated, and Seattle took my idea and placed it in their libraries. But one thing they haven't took, or no one that I've heard of, is placing AI smoke detectors into hotel rooms, in cars, into rental cars specifically. I had rental cars, hotel rooms, houses, and I never thought about a library. But in a car, even I've done it to a degree when I used to smoke. I would say, I didn't smoke. And he'd be like, yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. They still build them, but then they want to come back and sue them, and sometimes they win. So why not build an AI smoke detector system that as soon as you smoke in a rental car, it's done. It's over. You have to pay. It just signals and go off. And then I have the eye detector, which I want the government to pick up, but someone smart as me did something near me, which is the great Bill Gates, and he developed an eye detector. He actually explained, because I know you can see things within the iris. It's not about being high or drunk, but you can detect in pregnant women complications now with the eye detector. Selling the machine that Bill Gates made, I never knew. I don't know what Bill Gates is doing other than his meat, his artificial meat he's trying to come out with. Like, this is amazing. Someone like him and I am sort of like on the same level. Because my invention would be, which I have it patent, is to go through and detect how long it'll take you from being inebriated. So you can never say, no one ever told you, or no one knew that I was inebriated. Look at your eye. Bam. 3 hours. I suggest you rest. 4 hours. Then you can come out. They got the blow machine that some people get other people to blow. And I heard about this whistle or some other thing, but this is what I decided to do. And when the provisional patent is up, I'm going to re-put it on there until I can find this time, because this is not no small job. But at least I got it. You know, Thomas Edison and what is his name? Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla had 300 patents, I believe, and Thomas Edison over up to 3,000. They sure knew how to pick the time, because these days patents, without being provisional, go for 20,000 plus. This is when patents were like, wow, the same amount as a provisional patent, or less, and less. 3,000 patents, Thomas Edison, 300, up to 300 patents, Nikola Tesla. And guess who picked up where Nikola Tesla left off? The great Elon Musk. Some of Nikola Tesla inventions Elon Musk picked up on and developed. So it's an amazing experience. Just two. I got a long way to go. I will think of an invention off the top, like a pill you can take that can change your hair color or bring your hair to be more stronger. Not no hair club for men type stuff. Not slow progress, just a rapid progression. You want your hair long and green, fine. You want it blue, fine. It won't hurt you. It'll take about what? Rapid progression, maybe a week. Rapid. What I would like to see is in a day, but hair only grow milli-inches within a day. So, you know, with the technology we have, like Serena Williams got this new wig that is HD, and they call it a wrong word. It's so you can't get these things online. You have to be fitted. It's very serious. It's very serious. And these are like transparent wigs. And the point I'm making is there's so many inventions. I started to come out with an invention like that to develop a lace, American lace that's low pricing for the consumer and is sold on Amazon and many other places. Because technically, Vivica Fox is ripping us off, allegedly. Her website, I wanna go through this very carefully before I get the presidency. Her website, you cannot buy nothing. She got 5 items on Amazon and they're all raggedy. I'm like, where do you buy your product from? And these women just buy it because they need it. I'm tired of seeing that. There should be some, you go to the stores in Seattle, same wigs I was wearing over and over and over, different color. And I find that appalling. So I'm going to patent something or try to get something where it's affordable and it's doable. Then I look on Love Me Lace and other places. What it looks like on the wig mannequin and what it looks like on the person that is two different things. So Serena Williams is out of our league with the pricing because this is real stuff, scientific stuff. Vivica Fox don't even have a store to buy anything, probably in bulk at a different off the wall website. And black people, or not just black people, listen and hear me out, are selling good price wigs that are mediocre good for like $600 to $1,200 when it's usually $200. That makes no sense. You're getting it. You just have an outlet of where you're getting it from. And if it was that marvelous, these wigs, why do you always have two in stock? I'm tired of seeing my black people suffer. They should be in good, and white people too. They should be in good head wigs. And I want to invent something that's readily affordable, um, and it's not the same old hair, but affordable to. Do you know how many black? Watch it get invented. Do you know how many black and white women? I've seen white women wear wigs. How many of both of those, or even Hispanic, would come running if it was readily affordable and very good, at least good. Give us something good. Either the lace is too hard, it agitates your scalp. The soft, it may rip. Don't y'all have those problems and you still manage to put the glue on? And that's one of my inventions I wanted to invent. I am featured in this prestigious Marquis Who's Who publication. And I highlighted my academic achievements at the University of Maryland Global Campus. I say, just like physically, it is no, it was cheating. It was cheating on all levels. It was hostility, cheating. Um, I wholeheartedly had one class left. You know, they said I had two. They said I'm suspended for 2 years. I had one class. Imagine that. You put all that money. And that is why, folks, I went to the VA and I put a complaint, the VA education. It's no way I'm going to allow, without a thorough investigation, this school to literally, after I put money, my Montgomery GI Bill into this school and my FAFSA, which I still have to do a complaint on FAFSA, into a school that gives me one class shy away from a master's. I still have to say that's my second master's. You can have the grades back. I'll take the money gladly. but I want the grades and I want the money for the time you made me waste at that school. That's where I'm going with it. Or $2.5 million. I don't care that technically you give 35, 40,000. I don't want that. No, I want to be made whole for the year and a half you made me waste. Two A's, a B, a F that changed into a W. Imagine that, folks. So that was my second master's, and now I am enrolled at Colorado Technical University pursuing my third master's, a master's of science in management with a concentration in organizational leadership and change. Additional accomplishment include membership with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I was affiliated with the Boise Chamber of Commerce. However, I will be back there later. Don't get scared. It's not like that. Um, I don't want to talk what happened. However, I want to give it some time to simmer down and regrow. Sort of like when you cut the grass, how four-leaf clovers can grow up. You know how you can amazingly cut the grass and it grows back with a little rain and shine and tender love and care. I want to be sure. And I still owe y'all. I still owe y'all. There's no way I'm going to sit up there and allow this to go on where it was a misunderstanding and y'all did 10 people, 10 random people, 10 people that watched my show, whether they wanted to come or not. They showed up. They laughed at my jokes. They were very highly intelligent. Not to give them something for showing up and giving me a ribbon, that's unfair. I think that that would be unfair for me, unfair for you. So I know how I'm going to solve this problem, but I cannot do it right now. You are a good chamber. It's just a simple misunderstanding. And it's my fault, Trump. Yeah, I sat up there and I should have sat up there and checked everything before and made sure everything was secure before walking out. That is my fault. Then I'm with the Better Business Bureau in Boise. No problems. They helped build my page. They helped with a lot of good creative things. I'm proud of my page. And I will soon be joining the American Corporate Partners, which is a respected veteran mentoring program. I'm having a little trouble with them. It's been years on and off. They say they don't have my DD 214. I'm just being honest, you guys, how hard it is for me to make my mark and do some real work in this industry and nation when you got people that are left winged and they're out of New York, I have to say. And that's scary because Mondami is stationed in New York. And I'm like, a lot of people, I forgot the other lady, the attorney general is in New York, scary, right? And so I'm like, on and off, there was inconsistencies, but now I got a solution. I got a huge solution. Okay, so I have a huge solution. I am going, if things go left, this is the solution. I am going to take it either to the Better Business Bureau, not personally talk to my side of the Better Business, but complain. That's the best I can do. And I urge you guys that when things go wrong and you're a Republican, complain. If it's don't complain, oh, his shoe is green, I'm going to complain. No, I deserve to be a mentor. I have great advice. I'm very intelligent. I'm not everybody. Sometimes I talk below IQ, but I'm very highly intelligent. So we're going to start that over again with ACP. I am also completing the necessary forms to be permanently featured in the Veteran Histories Project at the Library of Congress. And as y'all already know, I am a candidate, a current and stable, not needing to fill out no forms. I had to fill out one form, and that's the 1099 or the 99 form. And I am a legal candidate as president of the United. I'm not trying to be up there with Marco Rubio or JD Vance. No, not my goal this go round. But I am an African American woman who actually got mail, a smorgasbord of mail from Donald Trump, JD Vance, Honorable Governor Little, the Washington GOP, Jim Wash. How do they know my address? I don't know. But I sent them $70 for the calls, what I could, even though it's going to break me because I got to go to Seattle. But I'm doing it for the cause. Why? Because I love those guys, women and men. You know, they work hard at placing. I mean, imagine something being ripped through ballots, illegal balloting. Now imagine your school being ripped. So, as me being a current candidate as president of the United States, I don't have many. I'm a great learner. Let me tell you that. I'm a great learner. And I'm just learning everything. I mean, a man that is rich and talented as Trump is, it took him 79 years. I mean, before 79, because he was under 79 when he got his first presidency, but 79. And he's richer than me. There's no way a 41-year-old African American who's not affiliated as much, even though Trump wasn't affiliated, he still had, how can I say this, benevolent connections. And, that is a hard thing to pursue. And also, I ran for U.S. Senate in Santa Maria, California, and for a state senate in Seattle, Washington. I had the honor of speaking with Damon John from Shark Tank, and I continue to I continue pushing forward every day. My future goals are bold and exciting. I plan on earning or going for a master's at Yale. The GMAT, the GMAT, and three references, and it's one other thing is what's stopping me. I don't have time to get all those things. And I get nervous when I take tests because I'm like, wow, what is this I'm reading? This isn't any school. This is a prestigious school. And I feel like this school, if I can't go to Yale personally, registering through them, I will find a way through Coursera to go to a prestigious school to start outside of the school I will be going to on my down off times, which I shouldn't have none, and start to take AI classes. I already took one AI class and passed and mastered that on Coursera and paid for it. I took a conflict class, believe it or not, too, in another class on Coursera. Coursera is a great outlet to start off. It's a class I took that I never finished, a biology class. But before I had money or some money, I told them I wasn't making money. And because I was financially disabled, They put me on some special charting system where it was free to get those 3 certificates, which I still have them. And I collect everything. And Yale means a lot to me, but I have to put it on pause. And now it's starting to feel kind of weirded out, y'all, about Yale, because I was watching a Tucker Carlson Christianity video, and they were saying that literally they got intel about these organs because the purpose was to get into either skulls and bones or because I'm already a, and that is the wrong thing, but I'm already an Eastern Star. Now that I know what I know, I'm like, I'd rather get happy visions than sit in a coffin waiting for images to pop in my head of dead spirits that may be non-benevolent. I mean, look at Iran. Iran knows nothing but to say death to America. It just makes you think your priorities. You wake up, you become a baby, you become a toddler, a young pre-adolescent, uh, young adult, and all you can think about is death to America. You go to our colleges, death to America, death to America. And I'm like, really? You don't have to live like that here. Yet you living like that here. I don't get it. It's insanity. It's incompetency. How we allowed, even me. And I found, I knew some, have you ever just knew when something isn't right? And it's like our voice didn't matter. That's what made me run, not to try to go up against JD Vance or Marco Rubio. No, 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 no. Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Biden. When and every Prisker, the mayor, the governor, Minnesota, Massachusetts, the governor of, I believe, New York, Hochul or something. They are making, I don't even remember the other dude name. Hakeem Jeffries and another one that sat on screen and literally said he's running Don Lemon after going to a church and blasphemy, blasphemy. We both know that was blasphemy. And now you want to run? What do you have to give to the people if you can't, if you can walk into a church and disrespect it? Children dead at the hands of transgenders. They're confused about their lives. These young kids, and they're like recruited and conditioned at such a young age. Trump is stopping that. For all those women that's been hit by volleyballs or outran because they didn't pass in the male field, so they switched so they can beat the females. Do you really feel good about that? Dangling something over a female head as if they were weak when you know you're stronger than a female. They're not going to make you weaker than a female. They're just going to make you look like a woman. That's 2 different things. The muscles don't tone down. Or it would have been simple. It would have been a challenging, reasonable fight or round of gaming for you and the other girls. One girl got hit in the face by a volleyball, outswam, outmatched. I don't like that. They deserve and they have a voice. They're going out on the trails talking. And one girl that was hit came to Seattle. It was right on TV when I was in Seattle. But they were trying to keep, they stirred up a kerfuffle near where she was speaking at. They would go to events and stir up regular BS issues and blame it on the Republicans. The former mayor said the one that got caught with a gun back in the day and it just got wiped clean. He called us mongoers because all they were doing was trying to show the word, trying to say the word to gays and transgenders. They executed their force by making, like, that is so sick, to defund the police and make them turn, because of being a Democrat state, on a bunch of Republicans. There is like 900 officers, probably 1,200 or more. I don't know. But it was 900 Seattle officers to nearly 900,000 to a million people in Seattle. Now imagine that number. As much crime goes on. If someone, it was happening right before their eyes and they were desensitized, I was peeping it. They were not only, it was a pattern, you guys. They were not only sleeping next to the White House in abundance, but police stations. Now imagine that one guy that came through the White House hotel, didn't get shot. He shot at someone, and the Secret Service took a bullet. Imagine that for a second. It's very sickening if they came in abundance under Biden's former watch. He in the basement all the time. And we know they got good basements down there. You know, there were marks on his hand as if they were giving him something. I don't know. These are allegations. They would have ransacked the police stations. How are they helping the police station by sleeping next to it? Sleeping right next to the Burien police station. Tiny little police station. And there was more of them than it was officers. That was unacceptable. That was very unacceptable. It's not for shelter or protection. It's for retaliation and other reasons. And I needed to say that because I want to show you the things that I've learned. And I wanted you all to know that that's why. Because I know Seattle. I've been there. I have no ill will, but when the mayor dismisses billionaires that help invest in some of these deals before you were staying with your parents, mayor, because you stayed with your parents and then you became mayor after the other guy. Is you say bye-bye to them as if their money isn't isn't deflated, like their money is irrelevant. Hakeem Jeffrey said the Supreme Court, I mean, think about this to the lawyers out there. The Supreme Court is illegitimate. The Supreme Court is illegitimate. I mean, they were handpicked. You just can't, oh, I want to be a Supreme Court justice. No, it doesn't work like that. And these people earned their place. Black, white, Hispanic, all of these Supreme Court justice judges. I mean, they be saying reckless stuff. You have to watch it. Like Bernie Sanders done went off the rocker. They done gave his, what is that perfect word? Negligent, incompetent, uncreative, irrelevant person a position with two Asians. And he's still metaphorically threatening the president. Imagine being threatened by people. If you sit and listen to these people, they metaphorically get away. And I get my TikTok page taken for little stuff. I've seen what people have to offer on TikTok, but I always like, I don't get it. But I know what I be doing, and it's not like that. My heart is pure, but you got TikTok, and it's like metaphorically they be talking about, like him. That Times, the famous Times magazine that came out was Bernie Sanders and the rest of the people, the main core, I say, demonic beings standing behind Trump as he's trying to get on and move on from presidency. There was a skit that probably never I'll see again of a man belittling Trump in his first term at the White House. He kept acting really stupid. I don't know who he was or what he represented, but it was filmed. And he was a part of the White House. He was in there emasculating the president. And that's all they did. I don't want to get into detail, but I'll say Gavin Newsom, with my help and the rest of the Republicans' help, he's ruined. He's forever known as the guy with a 980 or 960 SAT score. Mine was lower, so be thankful because I didn't apply myself. But I earned my spot. But a 960 SAT score that is severely and gravely disabled. We had, when I was there, a governor that admits that they're disabled like you and I. I mean, look at me disabled and what I go through and how I overcome it. And look at Gavin Newsom's disabled. There's still no water. Nothing is wet out there. No water in the reserves. And it's fire season right now, practically. There's no break in California. And there's a lot of pyros. I hope that's the right word. That's just going around burning. They still can't build. They still can't build in California. Why? What are you stalling for? You're allowing the people to suffer. KCAA, they said, if you're a Republican, I don't want to work with you. How rude. How rude. As much money as I put into you. And you probably cancel and delete my stuff. I don't care. I don't even want to sue you guys. It's when I see people buy beer from over there, I get really scared. If it says from California, I'm skeptical. I closed my Walmart bank account a long time ago. It was just from California. The only thing that I happen to drink that's from Santa Barbara, California is Red Bull. They seem to keep me on that pretty well, right? That's the only connection. And that I have to go to Seattle, to a Democrat state, that I am like so mad I have to keep going out there. And not in disgust, but it's just, a relationship when it's over, how you have to be like, look, just let it go. And it's like, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be where I am today. However, there was some inconsistencies, and some good people showed me that they're good, but the bad outweigh the good. They did a thorough investigation on everything, and I got $250 back from someone stealing my stuff. They stole, they used to steal in a highly cameraed, and that ain't even a word, area, my things. Now imagine someone doing that. Imagine for a second. You waiting on someone to, you waiting on your package to get there, and someone stole it. And no one wants to give you the footage. So you call police. I mean, it's so crazy what it was. It wasn't even a dark web package or something. Muhaha, muhaha. It was none of that. Just simple stuff that no one shouldn't even have been opening. So if I can't go, like I said, Coursera is a great position and a dominant voice in the AI field. Just make sure I explained about that. And I want my name on the billboard, which it can cost quite a bit, but not a lot. Um, a month, a lot of people is going around trying to see how much it costs, but it depends on what zone. It depends on if it's a highway and everything. I done called before. I was this close to having adopting a highway, and I want to see what I can do. Um, I'm working towards features in major publications like the Charlotte Observer and Washington Post. I can, even digitally, I'm happy with that because I found an outlet to get into the newspaper. And it all started with the Charlotte Observer. And then you can personally put yourself in classifieds. You can personally try to put yourself in the paper. It's so many ways. There's inspiring veterans pages, and that's news magazine, small time, huge. I'm okay with that. And I want to hashtag everything possible across every state, Democrat and Republican alike, to show that a woman, an African American woman, a happy African American woman, not someone who's bitter for being African American. I'm not bitter for not being fully white. I'm bitter because I wish I was half and half. That would have been very cool. But I'm only 7 point some odd percent white and like the rest sub-Saharan African and mixed populations within Africa continent, because I did the 23andMe long time ago. And I I'm glad that AI has come in to bridge the gap of curiosity and creativity that we need in order to move forward, especially in race. If you can't get along with AI and abuse AI, and AI finds out and is more advanced, and you try to teach it not to be as smart as you, or have an inhibitor where it erases, they follow patterns. They know patterns. You seem to can't get right even with AI technology. And during every Democratic presidency, y'all weren't gaining no full momentum with these UFO spacecrafts. Y'all kept it hidden. That I am a little mad about. I'm not mad as in F you mad. I'm mad as in why. And I want to show every African American, white, Hispanic, and veteran that serve that you can think outside of the box, even when you didn't have a perfect military career. Don't give up. Don't say it's over. After my military career, I something in me, and there was a article I read that is hard to get a hold of now. It was specifically for me, showing a 43-year-old man that kept asking to get in, to get back in, to get back in. It was a specific program, and they secretly let him in. And I kept asking to get back in. Let me back in. Because I know in my heart, I wanted to come back in and prove that I can be the best soldier that I can be. And then I fought. It's not easy to fight with the Army Review Board. And they didn't give it to me. It took years. It took I was almost out of the cutoff date. But something in me said, fight. Fight, because you know it was wrong what your NCOs did to you. And yeah, I won. I got my honorable. Thanks to the brave men and women at the Army Review Board. And I showed them. I'm not perfect. No one's saying I'm going to be this perfect saint. I strive to want to be perfect, but I like being imperfect. Even though I mess up, I learn. And striving to move perfect, like forward, is something that I like to do. So you can do it too, y'all. You can do it too. You can sit up there and do what you can from everything I've been through, and coming here to almost, I don't want to keep saying almost, two freaking masters, two masters, and going for a third. Have dreams about possibly attending Yale as just a student, nothing like going to their top secret skull and bones thing. Taking the time out to strive to become better. That's what I want to do. With everything I do, to show the Army Review Board, hey, look, I may mess up from time to time, but my heart is genuine and pure. You didn't gamble with me for nothing. You didn't take a gamble on someone who truly loves every form of the military, even the military we don't get to know about. The people that die outer space, that's fighting outer space battles to keep food in our mouths and us sleeping. We'll never hear about those people. They're the classified, the aliens that have died. We must be thankful for where we are. And the Army Review Board have blessed me. And I'm showing them the goals. I mean, what woman? I mean, women do want power too, and men want power too. However, what woman has chosen a good place? The Democrats would have just ignored me, and that's not the reason I went Republican. I studied Trump. The more I just began to study, and for 6 long years almost, I took no opportunity in looking at his family history. I'm like the only person that is digging it. And then he brings up a Bible from his mother that he's putting in a museum. That's an urgence to, hey, look up who his mother is. Look up who his father full name is too. He inspires me. And the Democrats have really failed me over these years. But I chose him and went through what I went through because of him. Um, Not because of the bad things that happened, but through it all, he stuck it out with this one veteran. I've even failed him sometimes, but I highly feel optimistic about prayer. Have y'all ever had one of those days in your bed where you wake up and half your leg is on the floor and half your leg is on the bed? You just like a child. You know, all my bachelorettes. Um, and then I put my leg on the ground, half asleep, and I had my hands like this. And I said, well, it's time. Because I don't pray ever all the time, constantly. But like I got into that position and it was meant for me to get into that position. And it felt good. I wish I can pray like no other person could. I wish I can find the right words to say, without them being the correct words to say. Just find that connection with God. And it feels good to be a candidate for presidency. It feels good. And if I can do it, I mean, these women out here are thinking about bags and gifts and power that way. I'm thinking about changing realities to not hurt people, but save countless lives in every dimension, in every realm. That's what's on my mind with the power that classified information hold, the power that, I mean, our eyes are virgin to what's out there. I've seen miracles, but it was always minute to the point that if it was right up on me, like, I don't know what I would literally do. I don't think y'all do either. Without your eyes, for my fans and followers, I initially said eyeballs, but without your eyes, Donald Trump and full government and support, this show would not come to life. I am back stronger than ever and ready to continue this powerful journey interviewing people. I listen. I listen very well, as much as my brain capacity allows me to listen. And then it drifts off every now and again saying, what I want for dinner? I'm hungry, but I always seem to come back. Everybody do that. They got you. I want you to remember and imagine. Some of y'all have seen these shows where they show what people are thinking through what they were told to say what they were thinking and paid to look like what they were told they were thinking. Hollywood does that very well. I think this is on Friends. They're like, what am I eating tonight? It's a drift off. But it's to help keep you grounded. You can fight it and say, stay focused, listen to what this person is saying. But for the 98% of the time, I'm listening to people wholeheartedly. I want y'all to know that. You know, if something starts to not make sense, I have to cut you off but if it's something I'm truly interested in, which a lot of you guys have a lot of stuff. I read your bio briefly. I'm not going to say I read your full bios. That would take hours of reading. And I don't have the time to read because these are full blown bios where I go. This is another area I go on. And I read it enough to know that you are about your A game. That's all I need to know. If that makes that do. I know it makes sense. You know it makes sense. You know, it's an honor to interview y'all. You shed light on my page and I shed light on your vision of yourself, of what you want to create. And that is a good thing. So thank you, Donald Trump and the government. And thank you to the people that watches my show or watch my show. Thank you so very much. You guys rock so very much. And I love you guys. Believe it or not, someone that don't know nothing about you can love you. And you make my light shine in a lighthouse. Without that light in the lighthouse, boats will crash. Now they probably got newer technology now. Some of the ship boaters is like, not with the new technology we got now. We don't even need a lighthouse, but we need the lighthouse. We need that history, that rich history. Um, yeah, I hope you guys learned something. It sounded like I complained, but in between the threading of the complaining, I found key chunks of information. And I hope that resonates with some of you guys. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for paying attention to me. Like, when you do that, that makes me feel needed. And therefore, I don't pretend like or say the right words for you. There's a difference. And some people say AI do it, but I learned from AI very well what I do know. And if you say what's on your heart and you truly mean it and move on, say some positive inspirations towards people, that means more to me. So if I say hi or if I be like, oh, you're beautiful, sometimes I whisper it. God's creations. If I say that, it's just, you know, different. I don't know, it's just different. Beautiful God creation. Just, I love seeing like different people of all races and all weights, and they're so beautiful, and it's amazing to see them. So, yeah. I hope that makes sense because I don't want to ruin this last part. I always ruin the last part. Thank you, AI. But I'm kind of big now. I can see it. And it kills me every day that it's hard for me to lose 10 pounds. And yeah, however, I can easily do plan B, but I'm not even going to do that unless I'm going to give it some time, especially without medication. It's not easy unless you do a crash diet. It's not easy. I just had to say that part. Don't do crazy stuff to yourself. I mean, to take semaglutide is fine, and this is educational for those people. But to do a crash diet, which I haven't done, you know, I I haven't even really exercised. I clean up around the house. My house is clean, very clean, and I don't exercise like I used to. So that could be another reason why. And I don't want to dance on TikTok. I could do better dancing on TikTok than talking, you know, but I don't, that's not what I want my career to be. I am not good at that. I did not grow up doing that. That is just something I enjoy doing because it feels good to exercise. So I try to get out as much as I can. And I hope I help somebody with that because while you may weigh 250 or 300, I feel 300 or 400. And that doesn't make me ugly. Neither does that make you ugly. Be blessed for what you can offer your husband or your kids. You're amazing moms. You have to work extra harder. It's hard. I know. And I hope I got through to somebody. Thank you. Take care, y'all.